Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing a Hollywood downfall in real time. Rachel Zegler, once considered Disney's rising star, has managed to turn her career into a dumpster fire faster than you can say Woke White and the Seven Disasters. The Snow White remake, starring Zegler and Gal Gadot, was supposed to be a major box office hit. Instead, empty theaters, plummeting ticket sales, and Disney executives panicking like they're trapped in a horror movie of their own making. Disney themselves have already seen the writing on the wall. Early projections show that Snow White 2025 could be one of their biggest box office disasters yet. Yes, even worse than their other flops in recent years. The pre-sale numbers are horrific, with entire showtimes looking like ghost towns. Even Disney's own financial forecasts aren't optimistic, as they brace for a loss so bad, even the Haunted Mansion ride might feel less cursed. And at the center of it all, Rachel Zegler, an actress who just couldn't keep her opinions to herself. I mean, really, how do you manage to offend both Disney fans and the people writing your paychecks in the same breath? That's not just a mistake, that's a talent. For months, she's been running her mouth about how outdated the original Snow White was, how she hates the love story, how the original movie is basically worthless. You know, the same movie that made her role possible in the first place. Oh, and let's not forget the time she openly admitted she wouldn't even watch it. Disney was already on thin ice with fans after butchering The Little Mermaid. But this was like setting fire to the entire Magic Kingdom. And now, as the backlash continues to grow, Rachel Zegler's entire career is in freefall. But the real shocker? Zegler isn't just losing fans, she's losing millions in movie deals. Studios are now cutting ties with her faster than a bad sequel. First, Blumhouse pulled the plug on her lead role in a psychological horror film, one that could have been her big break outside of Disney. This wasn't just any horror film. It was a $10.5 million payday for her to play a character named Kat in what was supposed to be a franchise-launching thriller. But the moment the backlash against her grew too big, Blumhouse saw the risk and slammed the brakes. Then, Scream 7 gave her the axe. She was set to play a key side character in Paramount's next big horror sequel, with an $8.7 million paycheck attached. In fact, they were just weeks away from announcing her role, until they realized they had a PR disaster on their hands. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, Warner Bros. Dumped her from a $7 million political thriller. The studio, which is undergoing a massive restructuring under CEO David Zaslav, decided they didn't want someone as controversial as Zegler anywhere near a film about politics. Because, let's be honest, what studio wants their marketing campaign hijacked by an actress who refuses to stop alienating audiences? I guess even Hollywood doesn't want that kind of drama in a drama film. And of course, instead of taking accountability, Zegler is blaming everyone but herself. She claims she was discriminated against and silenced, which is pretty ironic coming from someone who has spent the past year loudly lecturing audiences about how much she hates the role that made her famous. Disney itself seems to be quietly distancing from her too. That massive contract she was supposed to have after Snow White vanished. Her potential role in the Pirates of the Caribbean reboot? Ghosted. At this point, even Disney seems to be thinking, maybe we should have just stuck to the original story. In fact, some sources say Disney is considering completely reworking their live-action plans after seeing the disaster unfold with Snow White. And remember that Pirates of the Caribbean reboot that was rumored to star Margot Robbie and, at one point, Zegler? Well, funny how we haven't heard anything about that project in months. It wouldn't be surprising if Disney quietly scraps it and rethinks their whole approach. And speaking of pirates, there have even been whispers of Disney reconsidering the one thing they swore they wouldn't do, bringing back Johnny Depp. The studio knows it burned a bridge with Depp, but with the way things are going, they might just come crawling back. Because if there's one thing Disney does understand, it's that audiences actually like watching people they respect. Meanwhile, Zegler is reportedly furious behind the scenes. She's even turned on her own agents and managers, blaming them for not protecting her and fighting to keep her attached to these projects. But here's the thing. Hollywood isn't a charity. Studios make decisions based on business. And when an actress becomes box office poison, no amount of PR spin can save them. And now, Hollywood has spoken. Rachel Zegler is becoming the industry's latest cautionary tale, proof that you can't insult your audience, alienate studios, and expect to keep landing million-dollar paychecks. Just ask Brie Larson how that worked out. So what do you think? Is Rachel Zegler getting what she deserves? Or is Hollywood finally waking up to its own mistakes? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown of Hollywood's latest train wreck, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because trust me, the drama is far from over.